I'm a web user. I put in my name and email, and I hit submit.
I'm the HTTP request. I'm the message that gets passed across the internet to a web server. I carry a bunch of information about the caller and the destination, and I carry a payload of data with me.
I'm the JSON payload. I'm nothing but a container that holds structured data. I'm just along for the ride.
I'm a web server. I'm installed on a computer. My job is to look at incoming HTTP requests that are handed to me and route them to the proper web application, each of which are worker processes running in my process.
I'm web application. I'm created by developers. I get installed inside of a container known as a web server. The web server hands me HTTP requests, and my job is to apply any business rules to the JSON payload from inside the request. If the payload is valid, I pass it along to the database. You are valid.
Thank you.
I am the database, the store in which data is kept. Many applications call me, and I have all the know-how about keeping the data consistent and available. You're done.
Whew, he was accepted.
Success.
Success.
Yay!
So Mark, what did we just experience?
What we experienced was the database and the application server are tied together. So the application server, the web application, cannot be tested independently. Every time it's tested, it has to be tested with that database hooked up to it. That also means that whenever it's deployed, there's going to have to be considerations for that database whenever you deploy it to a different environment, and that's problematic. So now we're going to run another simulation where we show we've introduced another component in between the web application and the database to separate those concerns, make them independently testable, independently deployable, and cause us to be able to maintain things a lot more easily.
Cool.
And
All right.
cheaply.
Excellent. Thank you. I'd love to see what this is going to look like.
I'm a web user. I put in my name and some data, and I hit submit.
I'm the HTTP request.
I'm the JSON payload.
I'm the web server.
I'm the web application. You're valid. This time, however, I'm going to pass you along to a persistence interface.
I'm a persistence interface. My job is to act as a contract between the caller in our simulation, the web application, and an object in our simulation that will be the persistence object. Because I provide an abstraction layer between those two entities, they can be tested independently. Passing along.
I'm the database persistence object. I'm an example of an object that implements the persistence interface. Because of that abstraction layer, I can be tested more easily. I've got a very important job. I handle all the nitty-gritty details about persisting, that means saving, data to a database so my callers don't have to. Trust me, nobody else wants this job.
And I'm still the database, and I don't have to worry about how he looks in order to be taking care of all the data management, because Roxy takes care of that.
That's the back. That's the back. There you go. Then you can bring it back. I got my response. Okay.
If you had just one user, you probably never notice a problem. But as soon as you have a certain number of users, it's going to get to the point where you're going to need to break that coupling so that you can scale those two independently. Meaning you could scale the web application independently of the database. For performance, but also for testability.
Oh.
So the reality is that we've all learned, if you have those two bound together, the application and the database, anytime you test it, you're going to have to test the entire system as a whole. We can't really break it down and test those things separately and test them in units.
I see.
That makes it very difficult for maintenance.
Yeah, so that's why some systems are so expensive to maintain and add new features and things.
Correct.
Whereas some systems seem to be easier.
Correct. Anytime you hear a development division saying, well, that's going to be very difficult because all of those things are part of one component, we're going to have to take that apart, or maybe we should just bag the whole thing and do a rewrite. That's the reason you hear a lot of those things.
Okay.